We did have frost last night, minus 0.1 out in the main open, but here by the south wall my thermometer recorded +1. Good morning. So we had a light frost, patchy frost. It was the second or third last year that I did my first major harvest of tomatoes, and then on the 10th I harvested the rest of them, and they were still mostly green. If you go back to that video, you'll see I had rounded up bucket full of just green tomatoes. So I have other things to do. What I've decided to do is come out now, and the ones that are starting to get ripe, that's got quite a bit of a blush on them, I'm going to put in this bucket, and then I'm going to put the ones that are still all green in another bucket. And that one's been eaten terribly. Might as well leave them there for the bugs now. You see, I have 3 falling off here, so even the ones that are still green, but they're like a light green, are starting to fall off, and I'm assuming that's because the plants are old and just dropping whatever, any little bit of movement at all, and it just drops the fruit. Yeah, with the number of fruit that's been dropped here, I've got to take them all in now. Okay, another forget to turn on the video. There's quite a few that are getting ripe there. So we got, what, a quarter of a 5-gallon bucket full. Now in the house I have a scale better than what I was using before. I can weigh it to the nearest gram. So I'll weigh them inside, and when I'm doing the editing I'll put it on the screen what I've got. Now you'll see me going along here, but I won't pretend that I didn't just forget to turn on the camera. So that's the green ones we got of the smaller tomatoes. And I don't know if I already said, but I repeat again, last year I took ones in that were much greener than that, and most of them ripened up. So they won't be as sweet as ripening on the vine, but they'll still ripen up good enough to be used in all my tomato sauces and whatnot. It's actually going to be a warm day. Let's see what's left on the brandywine vines. See, I got that one. That's a really big one there that is all eaten all around, so I'm just going to leave that there. I have to take off my glasses because they're green. And the green tomatoes blends with the foliage. 27. There are some little small ones I left on there because it's brand new wine, and who knows, if we get a week of warm weather, then they can grow quite a bit. A little over half a bucket full. Maybe I'll put something on like that as a thumbnail. But 2 5-gallon buckets full of tomatoes, and I have 36 kilograms already picked, so I got 1 kilogram more than last year. Last year was 55.8 kilograms, and this year was 56.8 kilograms. And awful less plants. I spaced them out 2 feet this year, as opposed to last year I had them 18 inches. So I have a couple other things to do today, but I'll bring those in. And the ones that aren't damaged, of course, I'll put back in the box and let them ripen up. And the ones that are damaged, I'll have to do some kind of processing right away. Okay, it's a warmer, dry day. Let's pick the rest of these beans now. The ones that are still not completely ripe, they'll be demi-sec. So to make it easier, I'll just take up the plant and pick the beans off them. But lay the plant back on the bed. That's vegetation to be laying on the bed over the winter, right? My first harvest of beans, they were mostly dry like this, and the weight came to 1,570 grams, so that's 1.5 kilograms. When I made sure they were completely dry by putting them in the dehydrator. They came out to 1,348, I think it was. So about 200 grams lost from the point of picking to the point of making sure they were completely dry. Guess that's it. Like I said, that's Brussels sprouts, so that's got to stay there for sure. So now we can talk about the different stages of ripeness. See, pops right open. And you get this nice black, matte black bean in there. Let's take this one. You see, it won't break open. Kind of got to break off the tip and pull that string back like that. Then it's easier to break open. The beans, as you can see, are much larger. That's because they still have all their water and they're shiny. Now at this stage, I tried it with the other ones. Let's see, I'm going to try to eat one. Edible, but to eat them just straight, I think it'd be better to have a green one like this. But the pods are much harder to open up when they're green. But you see, they're purple and white, right? No, I'm thinking that other one. So a pod at this stage, where it's losing its green color, the string comes off easily. The beans are black. They're kind of a purple sheen to them. They taste a lot like your regular pea, the ones non-edible pod peas. It's what they taste like. And I think they'd be excellent to throw them in a stir fry without them drying them out. Just take them just like that and add them to a stir fry. So I went over and checked, and indeed I did have some Jacob's cattle left. Here's one of the pods that are still yellow. Same thing, you break off that end. You see the color is still quite light, and they're pretty much as big as a lima bean. Oh, I feel a couple picks of rain, but I'm almost done anyway. They're a little sharp at that stage. Let's see what a green one is like. And then that's what they're like when they're fully colored. Yeah, he's not good to eat that way. He's getting... So at this stage, you can take them and just throw them right in your stir fry, like a lima bean. I guess it must have been the tiger's eye I tried. It was a really delicious bean at that stage. A few days later, we've had some nice days, but I've been in a lot of pain with this arm. I got some extra strength adult painkiller now. But today is nice. Nice for now, anyway. They're threatening us with rain this afternoon. Now, these little guys that I said I was going to harvest and just slice and fry. See, this one here got touched with the frost. We had one night with a little bit of frost. So this one don't look like it, but I think this one did too. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not going to come to anything. I want to go through squash vines and harvest anything that's, I think, I'm not going to gain anything by leaving it there. Sun comes out, it starts to feel warm quite quickly. As you know, it's stinging out of the among this, so I got to put these gloves on to do the job here. So, I guess we'll see what a black fish skew is like when it's immature. And again, when it's mature, I left the other one that's almost mature on the vine. And this is an almost mature Jehardel. Not done yet. It's like being on a treasure hunt. Nope. I think that one's ripe enough as well. Ooh, a little bit of a weight to this guy. Jehardel pumpkin. That one right there, that's supposed to be Jehardel, and we don't know what it is. I'll get that one. Don't know if there's anything else right there or no. Don't see anything. Right there's a little Watton butternut. You can see him in right there. I'm gonna make some butternut soup out of that. But over right here is that little small one. You see this one? It is growing. And the plant, because it's protected by other things, it's still healthy. So I'm going to leave that there until another frost. Now we'll see what onions we take out of that. Here's my bowl with the few squash in it. See, they died back and then they resprouted some of them. Porky! Wouldn't pay attention to the cat, so he decides to go over and knock the tripod over. And that's the bowl with the onions in them. I took up the ones with the strong tops as well because I want to do something with that green onion and the amount that the other ones are going to grow. If I lose the green tops, well, I got more loss than I would have gained. See, this one, the skin is pretty firm. I mean, it says, can you leave a line with your nail? But I mean, I can push pretty hard. It's turned a nice bluish gray, like the picture says when I ordered them. And this stem is drying up. Now this one is just starting to dry up, the stem. But as you can see, it's still quite green, so I don't know if we'll get any mature seeds out of that or no. Any viable seeds, I mean. Now's the time to harvest some grapes. Last year, this was the first day I harvested grapes. I want to see if this little thing is helpful for grape harvest. So far, so good. Yeah, that might be very helpful. So I take the bunch of grapes in my hands, and then behind the last grape, it snips quite easy. But I didn't get the right piece, did I? Try this again. I was actually supposed to snip it back there. Oh. Sometimes they're ready to fall off anyway, and the whole bunch will fall off. No, I think I want that one that has the protector on your finger and a little knife on the thumb, and I have one for each hand. Put it on the other hand and see if it's more comfortable for me. It's going to be a fair amount just right here. I can see them all in through there. You have to cut into the bush to get at the grapes. Now you remember last year I cut through the center here and cut it back. There was a lot of grapes right here, but not out in the center. And then of course another bunch of grapes up on this end because this was the other plant. But I had to cut it a lot away to get in there. But now this one, maybe it does get less light than the other one down further. It still has quite a few that are left on there that, hey, another week or so they'll be ripe too. Two-thirds of a 5-gallon bucket there. I have to pick them off their twigs now and put them in containers appropriate for freezing.